Alright, good morning. It is Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. It's time for your morning briefing and forecast video. Multiple key messages today. Number one being the severe weather across parts of the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic today. And of course, Tropical Storm Bertha. That was named last night. I believe it was the 7 o'clock advisory, Central Time advisory last night when we got that Tropical Storm designation. Let's go ahead and start off with an overview of the Mid-Atlantic region. We do have a few, we'll say a few. We've got some scattered to widespread morning storms, some of which are severe. The one in northern Ohio is severe, and there are a couple severe storms in southern New York as well. Lots of cloud cover too. That's limiting some of the instability across parts of the risk area this morning, but with strong warm air advection moving in, that's kind of compensating for that cloud cover, but that may suppress some of the stronger instability for this afternoon. I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna kill the severe threat, but it could play a role into it a little bit. Next, we have Tropical Storm Bertha, and you can see not your classic tropical storm presentation. A lot of the convection, just about all the convection, is to the south of the center. You can see the center spinning there just a little southwest of Panama City, southeast of Pensacola. A little offshore of the Florida Panhandle this morning. Moving west, it actually has about 5 miles an hour. I do think it's moving a little bit faster than that, but it is moving west towards southeast Louisiana. That's likely where it's going to make landfall tomorrow morning. And I do think we continue to see this this upper shear continue to kind of just push convection away from the center. So even though that decreases the flooding potential along the immediate coast and even some areas inland, still some gusty winds could impact coastal regions as well. So that's something that we'll continue to monitor. And there is going to be some isolated tornado threat along the coast over the next day or so. So we'll continue to monitor that. But we will continue to see kind of mostly a due west motion. It could be a little jog north or south, but southeast Louisiana is going to take the brunt of it. We should see some weakening over the next 24 to 48 hours. More likely not going to be a hurricane, as it's mainly just, again, impacted by that shear, but could be mostly a gusty wind threat, not too much of a flooding threat thanks to that shear. Let's go and take a look at the severe outlook for today. A level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk, driven by a 45% probability of severe winds. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 60% area, but it's going to mainly depend on confidence level as far as the coverage of severe winds today. It also has to do with how this morning evolves too. Lots of rain and cloud cover could thwart that instability and also could suppress severe thunderstorm coverage. So we'll see how that evolves. But the bottom line today, damaging winds are going to be fairly widespread today. Probably one of the most widespread days that we've seen so far this summer. Perhaps even a little more widespread than we saw on Saturday, again, depending on the evolution of storms today. A few tornadoes are going to be possible as well. I think the greatest potential for tornadoes is going to be across parts of the Ohio Valley, across parts of Indiana, maybe even southeast Illinois, northern Kentucky, and southwest Ohio today. I think that's where we see the greatest potential for tornadoes. There could be a few tornadoes as well across parts of the Delmarva region into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, perhaps southern New York as well. There is a broad 5% tornado risk, but again, the main message here is going to be damaging winds. We'll take a look at the future radar here, kind of just time things out for you guys. And time zone and Central Time. Let's see if I can adjust the Eastern Time for you guys here. Let me pull that up. There we go. Here's Eastern Time. I think we'll continue to see that morning activity move east. Some of it could weaken, some of it could strengthen as well. We just see a lot of storms today across the region. I think we do see a few supercells across parts of Indiana, northern Kentucky, southwest Ohio. I think that is where we see the greatest storm potential today. Wind profiles aren't super impressive. They're not insanely impressive, but I think we do have enough shear to get a few storms to rotate, perhaps produce a few tornadoes, and maybe a conditional threat for a strong tornado as well. Can't ever rule that out. But a lot of storms also across parts of the eastern states, mid-Atlantic, and northeast. Some of those also could be supercells. I think the supercell threat's a little bit lower out here in the east, given some more limited instability, weaker lapse rates. But shear may actually be a little bit stronger in the low levels across parts of the mid-Atlantic, but I think storm mode's not going to be all too favorable for a very robust tornado threat compared out to areas further west across the Ohio Valley. But I think we see multiple clusters and line segments that develop this afternoon and into tonight. The severe threat could continue all the way till about midnight to 1 a.m. It could be a fairly long-lived, this is the end of the run here. It could be a fairly long-lived severe event today and tonight. So many areas seeing storms today. Not everyone will see gusty winds, but a lot of areas are going to see rain today and some storms. But also a lot of areas are going to see some strong to damaging winds. As far as Bertha goes, I think we continue to see the sheared off system. A lot of the convection displays to the south. Good news is that reduces the flooding threat across the coast, with maybe the exception being very coastal parts of Louisiana as the system makes landfall tomorrow morning. But there could still be a threat for a few tornadoes across parts of the Gulf Coast, along with some gusty winds. But I think as far as any major flooding concern, I don't think that's going to be a major deal. Now, if the system does track further north again, coastal areas are going to see a little heavier rainfall amounts, but this does not look like a textbook major flood event for the Gulf Coast region. But of course, we'll continue to monitor it and provide updates on that. Of course, if you want official information, go to National Hurricane Center where you can find all the information there. Here's the WPC rainfall outlook. This is for today. Marginal risk across the Gulf Coast, slight risk across the Midwest, Mid-South, and Mid-Atlantic. We also have a slight risk with that monsoonal moisture out west. We'll go to the day 2 outlook. There it is, pretty much the same areas across the west. That slight risk has been moved south, marginal risk across the Gulf Coast. So yeah, not a major flooding threat expected with the tropical storm down there. But we'll take a look at the total precip. We'll look at the blend of models here instead of the her. Once it loads in here, there we go. And you can see, yeah, coastal areas could pick up some rain. Some areas here picking up between maybe 2 to 4 inches. Some isolated areas could pick up a little more. And there could be some flooding, but I don't really expect this to be a major flood event for Louisiana and the rest of the Gulf Coast. I think if there is any flood threat to talk about, it's going to be across parts of the Mid-Atlantic over the next few days here, as we have this front that's going to stall out. And this is going all the way to this weekend here. A lot of areas could pick up 5 to 7 inches of rain. Some areas are going to pick up higher, some areas are going to pick up lower, but many areas are going to see some rain across the southeast from pretty much parts of Mississippi, Alabama to the Mid-Atlantic coast. So flooding potential going to increase over the next few days as we do have that front stalling out, and we have some tropical moisture kind of being pulled up as well. So we'll take a look at the forecast temperatures for today, and then we'll close things out here just to give you guys an idea. And really, once this loads, I mean, it's not really going to be a surprise. Many areas going to see summer temperatures today, of course, with that upper trough and those rain and storms. Not going to get super hot across parts of the Midwest and the Northeast. Should be relatively mild today, especially once those storms clear out, once that cold front moves through. Many areas across the south going to be hot. Some areas above average, especially across the southern plains. We have temperatures in the low 100s. And then areas across the southeast going to be mostly seasonal, a little above average in some areas, especially across parts of the Carolinas. Low to mid 90s there. And then more seasonal out towards the east. Still fairly hot in many areas. A little above average, but still mostly seasonal, quite hot across the lower elevations and the deserts as well. So that'll do it for today's briefing. Thank you all for watching. We will have another briefing tomorrow, Wednesday, July 22nd, as we continue to track Tropical Storm Bertha and a lower end but still scattered severe threat across the eastern states. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.